Thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you all. And here he is, Mr. Roman Weishaupl from Future Candy, going to share the future, the optimistic future with you guys as our kickoff. Roman, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fraser. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy and excited to be here with you today and share a little positive outlook about the future, about what's going to happen, about new technologies, about how we're going to change our lives and work for the better. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to activate you to participate in this future actively, and we're going to ride some technology waves. Right? So I believe that these new technologies that are coming one after the other one really behave like waves. Are there any surfers here in the room? Anyone? We got one. That's pretty good, yeah? So when you ride waves, you lie in the water, you watch it, you see how it behaves, where water pops up, where it might break, and you decide which wave you want to ride. You don't have to take every wave. You just have to see what fits you, your position, your knowledge, and you go and ride that wave. And with technology, it's a similar thing. We need to watch, we need to learn, we need to understand, and once we find a wave, we should go ride it, have all the fun, and then go back to where we were. I lived for 12 years over in the San Francisco area, and I really like this optimism about the future. The lack of pessimism. As a German, we are the best in pessimism. We always see the negative things of stuff. And in the US, and not all over the US, but at least in the Silicon Valley, it's the total opposite. Everything is an opportunity. When thousands of people were laid off by Meta, Amazon, Google, startups were happy. Finally, they could hire people. People weren't depressed, even though literally thousands within days were laid off. And they don't have 3 months layoff period like in Germany. It's like 14 days and you're done. But there was no pessimism of the future and the outlook. And that's what I try to pass on to you as well a little bit, this positive outlook. At Future Candy, we are activators. I want to activate you to participate in the future, to take part of it, because that's the other part. If other people do it, then we're just spectators, and we do this through we do travel, keynotes, like right now, we're trying to get you into the mood, but also obviously workshops. We have a lot of new technology because we want to give technology into people's hands. As you know, as many of you are building machines, the best impression is not watching a YouTube video of something, it's really actually looking into it and touching it with your own hands. And as well, we did yesterday a little masterclass here, how to show the power of AI in a very short period of time. But why are we here? We are here because digital transformation is changing our world. And the digital transformation, and I had this a friend of mine in the US, he said, digital transformation has to be done by now. Now is the next era of transformation, which is the AI transformation. And if you have not yet digitalized your business, you will not be able to use the new tools like artificial intelligence that other people who have digitalized already can go forward. So the digital transformation, check mark, that's done, and it will never stop. That's the other part about these digital innovations, whether it's AI or whatever it is. It's never a project with an end date. It is an ongoing issue, an ongoing situation that you always have to work on to rely on new technologies. But the good news is, the future is not written yet. And it's kind of similar like in 1992 when Tim Berners-Lee, when he invented the World Wide Web, he had no ideas about cloud computing, about digital print. He had no idea about e-commerce. He had no idea about the iPhone. He had no idea about Google Maps. He had no idea about all of these things. All he did is he was offering a new technology to the world. And we, the people, you active leaders, we created all these tools. We created all the services that we have right now, all the services that we use now. So it's up to us to participate in the future and to write the story and to move forward. But we got to start. And the same in surfing. The waves can look rough when you're a novice, when you're a beginner. Now, the good thing about these new technologies like AI, it's a new technology and there are no real experts, right? Everyone can become an expert at a very fast pace by working with these new tools easy. But we have to get bored, we have to get wet, we have to start, and yes, we're going to fall a couple of times. The water is cold, it's going to be annoying, we're going to be washed, but it doesn't matter because as kids, we learn to fall and get up and start over. We have to get used to new technologies and just try it. We don't have to climb Mount Everest on day one. We can go to base camp first or go on a hike first. And it's similar with surfing these waves. And there's one technology wave coming after the other one. So it's never going to stop. When I moved to the States in 2011, you know, we had platform economy was a big thing, and social network was rise, Facebook, all of this. And then people went, and after we had a social network for dog owners, and everything was like, people were like, okay, now that's the end of the Silicon Valley. Now we have all the social networks are already done. But no, the next wave came in, sharing economy, right? The Ubers, the Airbnb. And then when we had sharing for everything, sharing for tools, we thought, that's it. But no, a new technology comes around the corner every time, and so it will be in the future. So we have to learn and adapt to new technologies constantly. I'm going to be talking about 4 technology waves here today, and one, of course, the main one is going to be artificial intelligence. We're going to look into the next big thing, humanoid robotics, a little bit of spatial computing, and the other one is health, longevity, for me, totally underrated in our European world, because we're all going to be 120 years old. I can almost promise you that. You just have to survive the next 15 years, and I'm going to show you a little bit how that works. But let's start with artificial intelligence. At the CES in Vegas 2024, they had this sign, AI for all, experiences, devices, society. And that's kind of what it shows. It's not only a technology, it will change and it will adapt society and experiences to its fullest. It's not only something that you do on your computer or on your phone. It will slowly but surely weave into all processes and to all parts of our lives, more or less. And we will learn how to live with it, and it's going to be the positive outlook, it's going to be easier for us to participate because we're talking about large language models. We can communicate with the technology how we communicate to each other. So that's a big difference. If you buy something on Amazon, you have to think like the computer. I need a pen, 28 centimeters. What type of material do I want to have it, right? And then I search this way, but I don't. If I want to buy a pan, I need a pan to fry at least 2 steaks or 4 eggs. How big does it need to be? I don't care about centimeters, about size. I have something in my head and I can articulate it. And the new AIs, they will understand what I say and present to me what I want. We live in exponential times. This is actually very interesting, right? So Ray Kurzweil from the Singularity University in San Francisco, he worked on a curve on how technology will change and evolve and to predict into the future. He did this in the 80s. He started in the 80s, and on Moore's law that every 18 months processing power doubles, he estimated that by 2001 we will have the processing power of 1 insect brain, 2010 of a mouse brain, and 23 one human brain. Now, what's interesting about this, that in November 2022 was the launch of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is one brilliant human writing brain. ChatGPT writes way better than I do, has to some extent more knowledge. Does it know everything? Is it already your lawyer, your physicist, your chemist? Maybe not, your doctor, but it's only one human brain. And by 2050, the prediction, AI will include all human brains, which means your Alexa, your ChatGPT, or your Google Home, or whatever you use, is going to have all the knowledge in one. Everyone, this is going to democratize knowledge. This is going to democratize the world. If we have, so Bill Gates just a few days ago, he predicted that within the next 10 years, AI will be able to replace doctors, teachers, and more. And now, this is where often people get scared. It's like, we need more teachers, and we need more qualified teachers, and we need more doctors, we need more qualified doctors. We need to have all these things. Like, this is a lack of workforce that we need, and we can't produce Until now, we were not able to produce doctors or teachers. But now we can. And these kind of teachers and these kind of doctors, they look at me as a whole, who I am. Your doctor at home goes by statistics, is it man, female, weight, height? It goes by statistics, but not about my genome, not about my current actual situation. AI doctors will take me or the patient into account in its full entity. My genome, my diseases that I have, my bloods, everything, and not only by looking over it, but by really deep knowledge and intelligence. So let's see about the outlook. How things
Looking to upskill for the future?
This new AI can perform all coding jobs in seconds, including blockchain development. While this AI is already outperforming accounting firms. Meanwhile, the new graphic design AI aims to automate graphic design and could minimize the need.
Relax. Because in a future where AI does most of the work, there'll be one thing that humans will finally get to do all day long. Nothing. So it's time to learn the most essential skill of the future. 5-Star presents Nothing University with the first ever diploma program in doing
So
nothing.
AI can remove some of the issues that I don't like. It can compensate some of the problems that I may have, some of my skills. And we're really going through these progress times really quickly, and it's going to help us a lot. And there is a study to get to the scalable human, right, where we can have doctors everywhere, where we have physicists everywhere. We're going to democratize knowledge. So this is actually, I believe, an exciting part, because we're not as its threats, because we can overcompensate what we're doing. And there was a study by the Harvard Business School, and they worked with consultants, and they came to the conclusion that when you use AI, underperformers performed better by 43%. And there are skilled consultants, so those Ivy League, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, they performed by 13% better. So imagine what that needs. That is a power for underperformers to compensate what they were struggling before, because now, with AI, we're leveling the playing field. And that is exciting. And if you are a team leader, or if you're a leader, and you can increase the output of your underperformers by 43%, you're going to say, sign me up for that. I want this. 43% by a tool that costs you $20 a month. Okay, Microsoft Pilot is at 40 euros, but in general, it's a very cheap investment when you think of what you get, the improvement of a faster output, speed, and quality. So those are tremendous numbers. And in the Deloitte 2024 General AI report, they asked managers if their investments into AI were either meeting expectations, below expectations, or exceeding. And when you look at this investment of this very new technology already had meeting expectation by 43%, but exceeding already 31. So 75% of management said we are exceeding or meeting our expectation of the AI investment. Of a technology that is, AI has been around for a lot of time, but like I said, like the large language models, been only out there since November 22. And this will empower, like I said, it's democratizing, empowering everyone. And for you in the print industry, what does that mean? It means that everyone in this world will become writers, artists, designers, architects, animators. Everything that can be printed can be designed by everyone. You don't need big design shops anymore with high costs on how to do it. You can do it easily by talking to a machine. And I give you a little example that I did on my flight to. I did actually, as you see, I took the photo at the airport, and I took a sample image of a glass of a movie that was released this year. And I said, okay, I want my photo in this image. So just copy it. And I just told this literally how I told it to you. Take the first image, take the second image, and replace that person out of the first image. And then it came out with this. And I'm not a designer. I don't even know how Photoshop works, right? But now I'm capable of doing art like this by saying, hey, use this and copy this. right? And then I said, like, hey, I want to have my photo on a Coke can in the same style, and it just does that. I'm not a product designer. I have no idea how this works, but I can communicate. I talk to the machine. Now do it. And then, of course, say, how does a 12-pack look like? You know, with this. And then I like to do advertising. How does a Coke can, how does this pack looks in the jungle with an eagle drinking a can? And that's what it comes up with it. Like literally while I was waiting to board, I created these images, you know, in no time. Then I was like, okay, I want to have the font. I want to have the Roman cola. I want to have my own brand. I want to do my own branding. Like I said, I would not know how to do this without AI. And then I was like, okay, now let's use the same font and the same style, and I want to have a little writing. Like AI is the future of print in the Coke design. Now, I don't know, brand-wise and maybe legally concerns may be there at some point, but you know, for this purpose, I think it's totally fine. But it will be, see how are we going to deal with these words, with these situations, right? So everyone that can speak and talk and write can become a designer. Here I designed a new Coca-Cola Future Candy with our colors. You know, I just told the AI, these are the colors of our company, create a can. And now what you can do is you can automate. That's the next big thing, automation of these processes. So you can connect all these tools. You can connect ChatGPT with WhatsApp. You can connect it with your databases. So we did, for example, in our company, we use Pipedrive as our CRM. We use Monday as our task managers, project management. And now you can have all types of combinations where somebody puts in a Pipedrive contact or a deal, and then it automatically creates a task to the right person, assigns them, and gives a reminder to ask again into 2 weeks. You can do all of this automatically, that you manually don't have to do anything anymore. And you can even add WhatsApp nowadays, where you basically talk into your WhatsApp, send a message, say, okay, please create a deal for a presentation at FM Future with Fraser, and can you assign a task? I need a week before. I need to work on the presentation, blah, 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 blah. I just speak that into my WhatsApp, and it creates automatically my tasks in the tools that I use, and adds calendar invites, blocks the time. You can all do this by no code or low code.
Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to build AI agents on WhatsApp that can do personalized outreach, respond to customers, use databases, can notify humans to jump in, and can understand voice, image, and even documents. Now, I really wanted to make this video because I think WhatsApp...
You can watch all day, you can watch these videos, how people show you, and there are no coders, there are no experts. And if you need to code, you can always ask ChatGPT, how do I code this? And it will present you with everything to copy-paste. So you will be able to automate all your tools that you have and put them into one language, because language is the common ground here. And it's going to be the new world of the GPTs, right? Those different. This is a company we visited in San Francisco, TextGPT, and what they do is they're your text assistant. Like, who needs a human text person? You can upload all your documents, and you have a discussion about, is there anything missing? Do I need anything? Here's a new invoice. How do I do this? It's all done automatically. And it will come to an end, where we have all these different GPTs. That's what people are working on right now. But the next step, and that's kind of the interesting part, is we're going to move away from different GPTs, because everything, remember 2050, everything will go into one. And then we go from AI, as artificial intelligence, to AGI, artificial general intelligence, so the intelligence that can do everything. So your ChatGPT will be able to do your taxes, will be your doctor, will be your lawyer, will do all these tools within one $20 a month. I still think it's very impressive. And we're going to move from large language model to large action models, right? Because one problem we have right now is that the tools that are presented to us, they can't really do stuff. They can only recommend, or I can copy paste, but they can't really go into action. And AI agents are going to solve that.
Thanks for calling Leonardo.
And we're going to have here now a phone call that's kind of interesting between two agents. So one agent is supposed to call hotels and ask for availability for a wedding and prices. And the other agent is, of course, of the hotel, trying to work on requests. So let's see how two AIs talk to each other.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to gibber link mode for more efficient communication?
Now we're out. Now the computers talk to each other. They don't use our human language anymore, and they're creating their own languages, how they can easier and faster communicate. And, I mean, still there's translation, 150 guests, what date. They communicate all these things, and it's going to work. And that's what people are working about, droid speak, how they call it, how our AI agents talk to each other, because that's eventually what's going to happen. If I'm going to use my agent to call to get a haircut, maybe it's talking to a human, but the hairdresser is also going to say, I'm going to use an AI agent for that. So then eventually we have agents talking to each other. And
In this example,
I have an AI already decided. So when you are in San Francisco, and I think that is one of the biggest things as a Germans, we are a car country, as you know. If you go to San Francisco, there are already automatic cars. Since 2015, there are driverless cars on the roads. I mean, in the beginning, there were still people sitting in the driver's seat, but nowadays, when you take a Waymo, there's literally no car, no person driving, and it's getting you from A to B. It's a taxi service. Everyone can do it. It's like a regular, it's like a taxi. Very easy. And the AI has to decide what to do. There's no algorithm per se that says, like, in this situation, do that, in this, do that. It's basically a learning by doing situation. And you can easily go through cities, drive, put your own security, so to say, in their hands, and the AI makes all the decisions. So these agents decide when to stop, which route to take, what to do, and when to do. And actually, you feel quite safe. It's actually safer because there's a 360 visual, whereas the human only has, I think it's about 10% on precision and 180 on field view. So, but this is 360 degrees, so you can see on the dashboard, you can see dogs, people, and everything, what the car sees. And it decides what it does, and that's the exciting part. And when we add this with humanoid robotics, the next thing, because obviously the AI, if it's like on my computer or on my phone, is one thing, but maybe I can have it walking around. And the vision of Amazon is a robot in every household, right? And it's kind of like Bill Gates when he said one computer on every desk. The question is, who of you here has a vacuum robot at home? So have a few. See, we're getting started. More and more. And those little vacuum robots in the future, they're going to be able to pick up stuff. So it's a small little iteration, right? Super easy.
Also,
so now you don't need to clean up for the robot to clean. The robot can do that themselves, so they can learn where stuff needs to go. Or there's a little box where it can bring stuff and whatever socks or light stuff. And this is just the beginning, right? We're getting there is, robots are already building homes. For bricklaying, you don't really need humans anymore, per se. The precision is very accurate, and you just have somebody checking how it works. You have robots performing surgery on a constant level. So it really learns here. The interesting fact, it learns the behavior by watching humans, how it works. And then it translates that into their own knowledge and their own perspective. So we're going to have all these precision moments. And then we have actually OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, bought the Danish company 1X that is building these little robots. And we'll see how they become more and more help to our lives. I mean, this is an early version, but this is one of the starts. There's so many robot companies out there that are performing these tasks, and I like how they try to put emotions, almost like a conscience, into a being without any facial expression, right? But these robots, actually, they're starting, and the company's earlier version of it is when they showed us the 1X, the first one, is...
Hey, could you and your friends tidy up here? We have some visitors coming.
We're going to have our little friends, when you leave to go to work, the friends are going to take over the household, going to do the cleaning, going to get everything ready. This is the task we don't want to do, the chores. Like, who likes to clean out the dishwasher? Nobody does. Who likes to clean up the house? The kids are going to love it. We're going to get maybe a little bit lazier. That could be one of the parts. But at least every time you come home, everything looks great in the office. And the pricing, actually, it starts at the cheapest of those robots cost currently about 16,000 euros. They're still stupid, though, but they're bipedal robots. But, you know, they can, you know, it's a start. I mean, this guy never really cleans, so he kind of misses that spot. But all in all, you know, they understand our environment, and they work in the environment, and they make things work. And this is like for the Tesla Optimus, for example, right? You can still talk to them. They are able to brew your beer. They're going to become your bartender, you know, all these kind of easy to be done services. So a very interesting way how humanoid robots are going to come into our world, right? And what does it mean for factory? That the new trend is called lights out manufacturing, because in theory, if you don't have any humans anymore, and if you only have sensors, then you need to then you don't need light anymore, because the machines are going to take over, right? And Xiaomi is doing manufacturing 40 electric cars per hour without a single human worker. And in Silico, it's a lab company. They're putting AI robots into their labs, right? Performing monotonous lab tasks, right? Because you don't really need, for these kind of works, you don't really need the human brain, and that's the exciting part of it. Our species is so great and so unique. We don't need monotonous, boring work. We can do so much more with our hands than it just, you know, just filling things into A to B and working on an assembly line. Right? So let's serve the AI wave. Let's use this. Let's use those new technologies, that new powers. Spatial computing is going to add to the whole thing, because if we want to have a broad view on things, like, have you guys tried the Apple Vision Pro, for example? Have you tried it? If you haven't, just go to any Apple store and just try it out. It's a 10-minute experience. It's really going to show you how the future of augmented world can look to. And yes, augmented, you've been already, I think in FESPA in 2010, when I met Fraser for the first time, augmented reality and augmenting print, augmenting product was already a big topic. And here, 15 years later, nothing has really changed per se. But you know, new technologies are going to go to it. And this is actually a video, a photo that was taken in New York, like when the Apple Vision Pro was released. And people like, what are these people, these dorks, you know, doing? You know, trying to be all like show off, you know, how they got this new technology. And I was actually thinking, like in the 90s, there was a similar photo. You know, you had people who really need to show off, you know, how important they are. In the 80s and the 90s, you were like, what is this person? He really needs to be available all the time. Who needs to be available at all the time? And nowadays, we all have a phone in our pockets, and we want to be, and we are available and reachable. And this is how technology changes, right? So this is the old way of communication. And this is also the old way of glasses. And that's how we see it. Are we going to walk around in 10 years with these kind of glasses? No, we're not. That's going to be insane. The same way as 10 years later, we didn't walk around with these kind of phones. Technology always evolves, and every new technology starts at some point, and then we evolve, and then we make it better, right? So here, for example, we have Halliday. This is a new glassing system, and obviously it almost looks like regular glasses. It has no change to the ones that you can buy now, but it has all the technology in there. It has a sound system. It has voice, it has microphones, it has a camera, it even has a display that kind of projects onto your retina and gives you all the information of your environment. It augments the reality. I could see all your names, for example, if they were introduced to me for data security. So you introduced to me, it stores the name and the face and augments then the name to the person. I would love to have that personally, right? So, but we're just getting started. It's the beginning. And I promised you for the last minute, the next life revolution is longevity. We're all going to be 120 years old. These mice, they're actually twins. They're at the same age, but this mouse was worked on and was giving some supplements and some other mechanics, so it's easy to do precision. And this one lived 6 years, and this mouse died after 2 years. And in this age, one mouse, as twins, was behaving like an old mouse, and the other one was agile, young, fresh. And what happens is that what we can do is we can reverse aging on a molecular scale. All cells are reproducing reproducing all over and over. We're parting, and we can get the information of the core of the cell when you were 16 years old, and tell the cell of an 80-year-old, now reproduce yourself, not how you were yesterday. Do it like how you were 20 years ago. And this way, we can already do this kind of information. If you're interested in it, this is a book, Lifespan, by Dr. David Sinclair. He's a longevity. It has, even for novices, non-physicists, it's an interesting book to understand why we age and that we don't have to die. And the last note that I come at with, because people fear all these new technologies. What's going to happen? And there's one good news is we, the human species, have gone through these things already. If you would have asked somebody in the first, when steam engines came out, electricity, computing, we always thought there are going to be unemployed people everywhere. When computers came out, it's like, who is going to do all this work? Now machines are going to work all over it. When agricultural, when they started with tractors, with new machinery, 60% of the population was in agriculture, feeding a population right now. We will be able to overcome it. We will create new jobs. We will create better jobs. And this is something we've already proven over and over again. And with this, we need to start. We need to get our surfboards. We got to do it. We can risk it. Each wipeout makes you better. You fall, you get up again, and there you go. There's only one thing you got to do. Nothing is a mistake. No win, no fail. There's only make. We got to start making. We got to start creating. So please take your surfboard, take it out. You got to dream up what you want to do. You got to dare to do stuff, and then of course go do. And with this, I say thank you very much for your attention. I hope you like it.
Thank you.